everyone, this is Coco Creates and here is Coco and I'm Zoe, and this is a Flosstube channel. It's a channel all about stitching and crafting and bits like that. So today is, oh you're done now, she's done now. Today is the 25th of August. So yeah, that 3 weeks went fast. But yeah, here we are. So it's going to be a quick update what I've been doing. I didn't think I'd done that much, so might be quite quick, and you know, my plans for September. So yes, you've got me today with all my scabby, bedraggled hair that needs a haircut. I'm sure you don't mind. So over last month I had one new start. I didn't have any finishes. I didn't expect any. I hope you didn't really expect me to finish anything either. But yeah, and I made progress on my 3 core whips, which I will show you. So I'll be putting in some pictures of sort of where I was before. But so I'll start with this one, the big one. So this is, when I can pick it up, this is my Haid Heaven and Earth Designs. This is Amazing Animal Kingdom, designed by original artwork by Amy Stewart, and it's the max size, max colour version. So, and I did about, I think, about 1500 stitches on this one. So I did I work in 20 stitch stripes. So I worked that stripe up there. So a little more of this polar bear that's going to be here. And bits. So yeah, like I said, I'll pop up a photo of where it was. I will try to not knock the camera so much. Sorry about that. But yeah, so I'm just working up in up this stripe here. So yeah, this is legs of the other polar bear. So yeah, so that's that one. So I'm doing that one 2/1 10th stitch on 28 count cafe lay even weave from 1, 2, 3 stitch. So that is that one. Are you going to stand up nicely? So the problem with having a frame so big is there's nowhere to keep it, nowhere to stand it. I did not think this through. Okay, let's move that there and that there. Yay. There we go. As long as I don't move too much, it should be fine. So yeah, so I did a little bit of progress on that one, and then I did only about 700 stitches on my other Haid. So this one is this one's Bath Time by artwork by Selena Fennick, and this one's just the regular size, regular colour version. And I have put that there now, so I can't get this much closer. But yeah, so I just did about 700 stitches there of her hair. You can see there's a gap. I've still got a colour to fill in. So I'm doing this in 10 stitch diagonals. This is 1/1 full cross on 25 count, antique white even weave. So yeah, so I'm loving the colours of her hair as they're coming up, and I love the way this hand turned out. I was so worried that it would just end up being a blob, you know, even as I was stitching it, it looked really odd, and I was like, ooh. But no, from you know, even from the distance of the camera, it looks fine. But yeah, but when you look up close, it doesn't look right. But no one's going to be that close, apart from me. So, but yes, so that was that one done. So let's see. Ooh. So I have like a little tripod attached to my cross stitch frame, but then I balance things on my cross stitch frame and that's what I keep knocking. So maybe that wasn't a good idea. But I haven't really got anywhere else to stand anything. So yeah, how do you guys do your setup? Any ideas to keep it somewhere still? Yeah. So this is my third whip. So this is Castle Walls by Ink Circles. So this one was a start inspired by Mika over our Darling Bluebell. I believe she's doing this in similar colours. I know she's using the PR147. So this green on the inside. Green. Blue. It's blue on the inside. I can't remember what she was using on the outside, so you'll have to hop over there and have a look if you want to know. But this one I've been working on a bit more. I'm really enjoying working on this one. It's two colours, but not having to change as often. It's quite nice and relaxing to do because you're just kind of filling in the blocks as you go. You're not having to worry as much which way you're taking the thread. So you can kind of just go a little bit this way and then round. And especially with the threads being, they are variegated, but it's a slow variegation. You haven't got to worry too much about doing each cross individually because it all just flows, which is really nice. So I'll put a photo up of where it was before because I have got it on my frame at the minute, so you won't be able to see all of it. But I'm hoping this is everything I've done on this corner, she says. But yeah, so this is what I've done so far. So I've basically took the darker border down a bit and then worked filling in. So this is one of the side panels that I'm working on. So that's the way it should sit. So I did that little doggy there. I can't remember if I did that before or after showing you last time. No idea. I can't remember how far along I was, but yeah. So I tend to pick sort of do a strand of this colour. So the darker colour I'm using is they're both from Silks For You. So the darker one is PR069 and the filling colour, the lighter colour, is PR147. If you want a DMC comparison, head back a couple of videos back and the video is called something like what is PR147, and I do a comparison there. But yeah, that's about what the colour's like, I think. Maybe there. Yeah, sort of there as it turns. But this colour's gorgeous, and I just love working with these silks. I love stroking them. I love how smooth they come through the fabric. I've not used much silk. I've used some really old silk in one project, and I've used this. So I don't know how the Silks For You silk compares to like the Glorianas or anything. But I really like this. I really enjoy working with this one. And, you know, value for money wise, you can buy it as a whole hank. So it's like 100 meters, 100 grams, one or the other. So you buy a massive hank of it, and then it's plenty to do sort of a big project like this. I'm actually planning on buying one of the colours for Pandemic, so the long dog sampler that I have. I didn't buy it, I got it when it was when she first released it, when it was free. But yeah, so I'm just now picking a colour, that one. So I've got to decide whether I want a really bright sort of variegated silk and do it on quite a plain fabric, or the other way around, where I want to do quite a plain thread, so either just white or just cream, you know, and then have a really bold fabric. So I'm not decided yet. I think I need to find the colour scheme that I want maybe first. I don't know, I think I just need to see more of what other people are doing and then just like see which one I like and try and copy that. That always works. So I really do say so a lot. I need to work at that. I need to have one of those bells that like dings every time I say it, so that I can like Pavlov for myself to not say it. But yes, so I had one new start, like I said. So a couple of week ago, it was International Cross Stitch Day, National Cross Stitch Day, World Cross Stitch Day. You guys probably remember better than me. It was something like that. It was a day to do cross stitch, like every other day, but it was a special day. So I decided to have a new start to celebrate, and I picked out my Harriet Salt. So this is a Hands Across the Sea, Harriet Salt 1866 sampler. And I love it. Sorry, it's in the packet, sorry. When I first saw the sampler, I was just like, okay, red sampler, whatever. And it didn't draw my eye, it didn't really, yeah. But after watching Nicola Parkman, Hands Across the Sea, after watching her YouTube video on Harriet Salt, and watching her show it and actually go through in detail the motifs and that, that really brought it to life, and that really sold it to me. But I knew when I got it, I didn't want to do it in red. Red's like, I know it's a red sampler, but red's not my colour. Red doesn't go with what I enjoy. I just knew I wouldn't enjoy stitching it in red. There's some lovely reds. There's some lovely variegated reds that I've used in the past, but like when it was finished, it wasn't going to be something I really loved in red. So I know you're all going to start shouting at me because I broke the rules, but it's what I wanted to do. So there we go. So this fabric, this is 56 count Kingston Zweigart linen. This is from Extrude Designs, and it's sort of a greyish. It's basically a greyish linen. It's kind of slightly pinker grey, so a cooler pink grey. Basically, I saw some nice fabric on Extrude's, on Julie's Etsy page, but it wasn't in the 56 count. And I basically messaged her and said, look, I actually wanted 3 pieces of this because I have 3 samplers of a similar size, and I want to have them as a triptych. I want to have them next to each other. So I said, look, I would like, you know, 3 pieces of, you know, 2 foot square 56 count linen. I really like this colour that you did. Is there any way you would be able to do something like that for me? And of course, yeah, she come back, she was like, yeah, that's fine, I will do you, yeah, that's what you liked, I'll do something similar for you, and send it. And she sent this, and it was just perfect. It was exactly what I asked for, exactly what I pictured when I asked for it. And literally all I asked her for was a greyish colour, but this was what I had in my head when I asked it, and she somehow managed to like get inside my head and do that. But yes, so this is my teeny tiny itsy bitsy start. Is it going to focus? Come on, magic focus thing. No, you're not going to. No, it's not having it, is it? Grr. Grr. Will you focus on my hand? Should I do the handy thing? You know, where if we put the hand in front of it and it kind of zooms in. It's the first 3 letters. A, B, C. That is what it's supposed to be. It's not quite a C. But that's what it is. So if it didn't focus, you can see it. So I know there's quite a big gap here. 2 reasons for that. One is the scroll frame that I put it on. I couldn't comfortably get the scrolls, get it rolled any higher, because then when I was stitching it was just, the fabric was too loose. I do like my fabric quite stiff when I'm stitching, and especially sort of the linen with it being, it's not uneven but like slubby, so the threads themselves aren't exactly the same. I find it hard to follow the crosses unless it's pulled tight. I think that's partly because my hand shakes, so I sometimes get in the wrong place. Just preference, really. So yeah, but I know I have the benefit on this because I asked asked you to cut for two 24-inch squares, three 24-inch squares, sorry. The bigger sampler is going to need the 24, but these two are smaller, and I only really needed a 21-inch cut. But for ease, I just said, look, just give me three 24s, and then, you know, you don't have to worry about cutting different sizes. So I know I've got, like, I can get a good 6-inch border all the way around if I wanted, and there'd be plenty of room. So I'm not that worried that I've got quite a lot of space at the top, because I know it'll fit. What I do want to get though is some 30-inch scroll rods, because is it 30-inch that I want? Whatever, I want to get that size scroll rod, a bigger size scroll rod, because the ones that I've got, it literally just fitted, like the edge of my rods. It's this frame. It's this frame here. So the fabric basically went right to the end, sort of about there it was. So these bars just fit, and it was kind of squidging the fabric a little bit. So it just wasn't comfy. I didn't like it like that on there. It was no. So and it also meant I couldn't get any side tensioners in because they wouldn't fit. So I do want to get some longer doweling rods, so that it's a bit more comfortable to work with. So I sort of did one day's work on it. It was about maybe 2 or 3 hours it took. So it took a while for me to get used to the 56. So I'm doing this 1/1. Sorry, I'm not doing it 1/1. I'm doing it 1/2 full cross. 1/2. I dread to think what it would be like working 1/1 on 56. 56 linen. I know silk gauze, you can work a lot finer because the fabric, the warp and the weft of the fabric is a lot thinner, so it gives space for the thread that you're using. But I'm pretty sure if I tried to do 1/1, I mean, some of these threads of linen are literally the thickness of the silk that I'm using. So and again, this is a Silks for You silk. So this is a hank that I got, and this is hank, this is number PR148. No. So no, okay, it's a lot more pink, you know, magenta-y pink. It's not this kind of salmon at all. It's not this colour. I don't know what I'm showing you, but it's teals, sort of deep, like the deep teal, purples, and then real pink. So I'll see if I can get a photo of it, and I'll probably have to edit the photo quite a lot to get the colours. But if I can do that, I will insert that over this so that you can actually see. But yeah, but I just love, I love her silks and these colourways, and I'm hoping that I've read correctly, because on the back of the booklet that Nicola Parkman does, she tells you how many meters, give or take, of thread that you'll need, and I'm hoping I've worked it out right, that I should be able to do both this sampler, so Harriet Salt, and Mary, I'll put it in here, Mary, I think it was Mary something, basically another Bristol Orphanage sampler that does look similar, but it's not, you know, it is similar, it's just not the same. Now that other sampler, if you notice, it's not square, but what I'm hoping, because I would like to frame them both exactly the same, so what I'm hoping to do is, obviously I'll be using the same hank, so they'll match like that, but I'm hoping to take some of the borders that she's used in that sampler, some of the border motifs, and actually elongate them up the sides to square it off. That's my plan. Whether I do that or not is another matter. That will come when I get there. I'm not going to start that until I've finished this one. And then obviously the other 56 count piece, the bigger piece, you'll have to wait and see what plans I've got for that one. But yes, so I'm thinking the colour of the pinks does come out slightly better here than it does when I show you the hank. But anyway, I'll stick a picture in if I can. It will look, I mean the picture won't look great because it'll be heavily edited, but hopefully it'll give you an idea of the colours. But yes, that was my cross stitch day start. That one will probably be going away for a little while because I have some plans. So, and I bet you I did not bring my little notebook in, did I? Oh, I did. Or rather, I didn't bring it in. I left it here because I'm highly organised like that and I tend to leave my stuff lying around. You know, organised chaos, that's what I like to call it. Yes. See? I pretend to be organised. Sometimes. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it does not. But I went through my sales, so my stitch alongs. SAL is stitch along. So if you remember from my previous video, I mentioned that Julie from Stitching at the Cabin gave me the idea for doing a sal September because I have a lot of sals that need a lot of work. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm doing that. Julie says so, so I've got to do it. That's the rules. So I basically listed out all my sales when I did the little show and tell that I did on the last video. Was it the last one or the one before? You guys will know when I showed them. And so I have 4 that are currently in progress. So it's the Glitter House Sal by Country Cottage Needleworks, We're All Human by Clouds Factory, the High Street Sal by Little Dove Designs, and the Mysterious Adventure Project on the Map Sal by Ink Circles. So those 4 are currently started and in progress. The sals have all finished. All of these sals that I've got listed here, every single one of them has finished. You know, I'm not good at keeping to a schedule, so but yeah, they're all finished, but I've obviously still got work to do. So there's those 4, and then I went through the other sales that I had. So I had 1, 2, I think I had 2 more that I forgot to mention on the last video, but you will see those because they're in my plans. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 9 other sales that I've got that I haven't started, and of those 9, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 5 that I've got fully kitted up and ready to go. So the others are either missing bits or I just haven't got all the stuff together or I'm waiting on stuff. So I thought I'm not going to worry about those. I'll count those out. They can come, you know, I can start those when I start them. But I have 5 that I've not started that are all kitted up and ready to go. So that gave me 9. So I thought, right, so I thought 9, I'm going to get my little wheel. So the Tiny Decisions app, Tiny Decisions wheel, and I'll put all 9 into there and I'm going to spin it. And now I'm just debating whether I do 2 or 3 days on each one, because if it is, I can fit 3 days on each one in September because 3 times 9 is 27. But I do still want to do progress on my Hades and this one, so to keep on schedule with those. So I'm thinking if I do 2 days on each one, that's 18 days, and then that still gives me sort of 12 days to work on the other 3, my other 3 projects. So then I can do sort of 3 or 4 days of each, and then it also gives me a day for if I don't do any stitching because of, you know, reasons. So I don't always stitch every day. I try and stitch every day, but in reality I can't promise that I'm going to be here to stitch every day. In fact, I'm not here all of September because for a week of it I'm house sitting for somebody, so for my sister. So she's going to visit family, so I'm house sitting and babysitting their cat, so I will be there. So in theory I'll get a lot of stitching done that week. We'll have to see. But anyway, so I'm still debating 2 days or 3 days on each one, but either way it'll be at least the 2 days. So I'll spin the wheel, do 2 days of stitching, and then swap frames and spin the wheel. So yeah, you know what would be really convenient for me would be to have like 10 scroll frames, because like I find it really awkward but also really painful, like undoing the frames and swapping things out a lot, and I think that's why I haven't worked on anything else apart from these three, because my two Hades are basically fixed in their frame. Those frames were bought specifically for those projects or made. So my the big one, so this frame here that's got my big project on, my dad actually made this frame for me, with the dowels and the rods, and he made it, because I just couldn't find one that was the right size, that wasn't either sort of out of my price range, or it was going to take a long time to get here. So I know I could have got like a Millennium frame that would have fitted it, but a Millennium frame is brilliant and I would love one eventually, but it was just having to wait a whole year, and I was like, but I want to start it now. So I asked him to make one for me, and he made that. That frame that I've got this from, again, this was bought specifically for that project. So they stay like that, and they will until those projects are finished. They're not going to come off those frames. Obviously they get loosened in between the projects, but I don't take them off, mainly because they're stuck on, sort of thing, stitched on. So that leaves me with this frame. So this is my only other scroll rod frame that I have, and then this gets swapped out for virtually every project that I have, unless it's a really small project, in which case I have a very small set of scroll rods. If you've seen them from my Mania videos, my Believe piece was in those scroll rods, because they basically can take a piece that's about 6 inches wide. So my when I've done my bookmarks and things and any smaller pieces, I'll put them in there because it's smaller. There's no point in having a Michael Powell bookmark on a 24-inch scroll rod. But yeah, so I have to change between every project, and that can get really cumbersome and really painful, and I'm wondering whether it's worth trying to buy, you know, invest in a bunch more scroll rods to have for different projects. I don't know. See, I have got some, but they're the ones that have just a round piece of dowel with a piece of fabric attached. So you sew, or basically you tack the fabric, your stitching fabric onto that to attach it to the scroll frames, which are really good because you can get real good tension with that. But then you can't really be taking it on and off and on and off, because there's too much stitching involved, you know, and that's even more time consuming. So I don't know what to do. Whoops. I don't know what to do. So at the minute I just have the one set of scroll rods, a dozen hoops, but I don't really like using hoops. I don't like the marks they leave in the fabric. So I'll work something out. But yeah, so that's my plans for September. So I might be able to cram another video in sort of between now and September. And I know September's only like 6 days away. But I might do, it might just be a very short one of, this is the starting point for all of my sales, mainly, basically. It might, or it might not. Just because I haven't really found a schedule for my videos. I'm thinking I could probably get one done every 2 weeks. I'm going to try and do sort of 2 a month. Maybe one at the middle and one at the end. Maybe just try and routine that. So with my disability, sometimes I'm not always well enough to get all of my projects out and to sit here and talk. Talking for long periods of time hurts my lungs, and can make it, you know, it's just rough, you know. It's some days it's rough to do, and so I don't do the videos, and I think, oh, I need to do a video tomorrow, oh, I need to do a video tomorrow, I need to do a video tomorrow. And it just, so I thought this morning, I was up here and I thought, no, I'm going to do one right now. I haven't brushed my hair, I've got like a spot on my lip, you know, I haven't got any makeup on, I haven't, like, I would just, no, if I don't do it now, I wouldn't ever do it. So I was like, I have to do the video. And obviously Coco was here, so, you know, we had a talk after the last video that she didn't come, and yeah, so she stayed up here for the there she is, just up there. So here is, where are you? Here she is. So yeah, excuse all the mess. As you can see, that's all the stuff that I normally leave out of shot, so I can pretend that I'm nice and organised and intellectual with all my books behind and my little knitting projects here. But really, that's just like, you know, this life, this real life. So if you're going to judge me for having a bunch of rubbish out of shot, then you're probably not the sort of person that really wants to be watching these videos. So I don't know. I've never been to any crafty person's house and not seen stuff around. If you are, you know, if you are a crafty person and you don't have stuff lying around, then please tell me how you do that, because I would love to have a house like that that looks all pretty, but I do not have that. So if you can do that, please tell me your secret. I will pay you to come to my house and fix it. You can come to my house and do it all for me, that's fine, I will pay you. So, but yes. So, I think that's it. Nothing else exciting has been happening, really. So, I suppose it's the end of the cross-stitching portion. You know, a lot of people do little banners in between. I could do a banner, I could do a swoosh, but that's the end of the cross stitch, and there's probably, I'll talk a minute about life updates. I don't really have many. It's like when they say talk about yourself at school, you know, your first day at school, and they're like, oh, tell us a bit about yourself, and you're like, I know nothing about myself. Yeah. But yeah, nothing exciting's been happening. We're due a storm. I think it was supposed to come through last night. We had a lot of rain last night, but not so much that anywhere flooded. So it was kind of on and off, you know, heavy rain and then it stopped, and then a bit more heavy rain and then it stopped. So, but yeah, Storm Francis, maybe. I don't know. I don't always pay attention to the names. We're quite, well, I say we're quite inland. We're like an hour from the nearest coast, so we don't tend to get as much of the bad weather here. We're quite lucky. We also don't tend to flood specifically where I am. You know, a few of the roads get a little bit flooded, under a couple of bridges do, but that doesn't normally impact any housing or any buildings. It just impacts the road and it closes the road, and that, you know, that's the most inconvenience. But yeah, we're very lucky here. The wind rarely is strong enough to take down trees around us, especially around here. We do have the fens sort of a little way off where I am, which is all completely flat, so the wind can pick up a little bit of speed across the flats, but you know, again, it's all flatland, so there's nothing for it to knock over. Even if the wind did get up to a speed that could knock a tree over, there isn't any trees, so it can't knock anything over. So yeah, I suppose we're quite lucky. So yeah, and the cats get on okay with the storms. So a couple of them are a bit skitty, don't like the thunder, so they tend to hide under the duvet. They get into the bed and hide under the duvet where it's safe. So yeah, that's quite sweet. But yeah, so we've had a new sort of conservatory. It's an orangery, is what it's called. It's kind of a glorified conservatory. It's basically a conservatory but with more brick. And it's got a solid roof, and then with a little apex in the middle of glass, so it's not all glass. It does get quite warm in there. Obviously I don't know how cold it's going to get in the winter. We've not got there yet, but we do have a little heater radiator thing stuck in there, so you know, it's an electric one, it's not plumbed, but hopefully that'll keep it warm. I don't know. We've not got much furniture in there yet. We have a cat scratching post, obviously, because cats come first. Yes, hello. Yes, you do come first, don't you? Hello, princess. So this is Tia. Tia is a foster cat. So I don't know if I've mentioned, I foster cats for our local cat rescue charity. So basically when they either don't have a home because they've been abandoned or owners have passed away or they've just been found out on the streets. Our charity collects them up and then they come to a fosterer until they're ready to go to their forever home. So that's what I do as well. So yes, so that's one of my fosters that came and yelled at me, possibly because she was upset that her breakfast was late this morning. I don't know. So yeah, what was I saying? I can't remember. Oh yeah, there's a cat scratch post in the orangery, and a radio, a little radio. That's it. That's it at the minute. So, you know, priorities. But yeah, I'm hoping to get a nice comfy chair down there so I can sit there and do my stitching or my knitting and stuff. But yeah, nearly finished a couple of my crochet projects that were gifts. One of them needs some stuffing, so I have to go and buy some toy stuffing for it. And the other one is like a jackety, cardy, chuck around, throwy thing. Shrug, shawl. I don't know, it's kind of a mix of all of those. But that's nearly finished. I think I've just got the border row and then do the armholes. So yes, hopefully I can show you those on my next video as finished-ish. Depends when I'm able to get out and get some stuffing. So we're still sort of socially distancing ourselves here. My city does have a quite high rate of COVID cases at the minute. Has sort of one of the highest in the UK. I think we're like we're like the third highest in East Anglia. So in our region. But you know, we're kind of just staying at home, you know. So my mum is furloughed, so she's not working at the moment. Obviously my dad's retired and I'm retired, so it didn't really affect us too much that way. But yeah, so staying at home, lots of stitching, lots of kitty cuddles, and that's it. But yes, so I will hopefully see you all soon, and I'm going to bid adieu now because I could stand, you know, sit here and kind of and ah and waffle for like another hour if I really wanted, but I don't think any of it would be that interesting. And some of it probably wouldn't make much sense. So, but there we go. All sorted. So that's my plans. So up until the end of this month, I'm just going to carry on working on these 3 projects. So the Castle Walls, Bath Time and Amazing Animal Kingdom. So do a little bit more of those 3, and then as of September I will be getting my wheel out and starting on my sounds. So yeah, there we go, all sorted. So I will love you and leave you. Be nice, you know, be kind. Black lives still matter. Trans lives matter. And yeah, I love you all. So yeah, be good. Bye bye.